Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-new Prologue EV, there's a lot that can impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
This is Optimal Health Daily, varying your training intensity, and stop making excuses about time, both by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. And I'm your narrator, Dr. Neil. Hey there, happy middle of the week Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I read some of the best blogs covering health and fitness, just like an audiobook, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. Now, today is Wednesday, and like I do every Wednesday, I like to share a little bit of inspiration with you. So with that, here we go. Quote, "The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison." Anne Wigmore. All right, and with that, let's get right to today's 2 posts as we optimize your life. Varying Your Training Intensity by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. Earlier this year, I shared a few tips about how to stay healthy and active as the years pass. To no surprise, I emphasized the importance of consistency. Consistent work and effort have always formed the backbone of my life. I've never been good at taking it easy. I'm an all-or-nothing person. If I'm working on something that matters to me, I don't know how to give less than 100%. The question, though, is can you consistently give 100% without eventually running yourself into the ground? Struggling to reduce intensity. Most schools of thought encourage athletes to perform lighter sessions on occasion to facilitate recovery and prevent burnout. I too agree with this general premise. Constantly pushing yourself to the max each day with strenuous work is a recipe for failure. Such intensity cannot be sustained indefinitely. It's only a matter of time before the body begins to suffer. Unfortunately, recognizing the importance of lighter work isn't the same as applying it. Speaking for myself, I've always struggled to include lighter days. My temperament is one that always wants to do more. There is no sense of accomplishment when I am intentionally working with less intensity than I can apply. Pushing yourself with lighter work. The compromise that I've learned to make with myself is to perform lighter work that remains challenging. In other words, the work remains difficult, but there's no risk of beating my body down. I simply shift the focus away from strength and instead target another attribute. Exercises that I often perform on lighter days include shadow boxing, hitting a double end bag, and skipping rope. No matter how hard I go, my body isn't taking much abuse. There's no risk of overreaching or overtraining. When? I'm often asked when it makes sense to include lighter training days. Personally, I don't plan such days in advance. I've been training long enough to know when my body is asking for rest. Therefore, if I notice any signs of getting run down, I'll shift gears and include a lighter day or two. Such an approach might sound overly simple, but it really doesn't need to be any more complex. What? Just as I don't plan when to include a lighter day, I also don't spend much time planning what to perform on such a day. My lighter days are usually just a random mix of activities like those I already mentioned. I'll work for around 30 minutes and then finish with a few sets of calisthenics. Complete rest. Another question that I'm often asked is about complete rest. Does it make sense to include full days of rest during the week? Naturally, there's no single way to answer such a question. Every athlete is unique. We all have different schedules, goals, and needs. With that said, I prefer light work over complete rest. It's extremely rare that I don't perform some type of exercise or movement on a given day. Even if it's just a few minutes of hand-eye coordination training on a Sunday, I'll find time to do something, and I always feel better as a result. Final thoughts. If you're anything like me and struggle to perform less intense work, perhaps you can implement some of the ideas discussed today. It took me years to realize that I could still push myself hard with less intense work. Now that I've seen the light, I actually look forward to such days rather than dreading them like I did before. And as a member of the over 40 crowd, I'm assuming that such work will continue to prove useful as the years pass. I take great pride in continuing to function like a younger athlete and believe that varying my intensity is one of the keys. I'm able to satisfy my need for a constant challenge without beating my body down. Stop Making Excuses About Time by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. I once posted a video that lasts less than 20 seconds. There is nothing fancy about it. It's just me dropping down to perform a quick set of push-ups. There are certainly more exciting videos to be found online. I wasn't looking for style points though. I filmed the short clip to make a point. It takes less time to do a set of push-ups than it does for you to explain why you don't have time. Busy times. As a father, business owner, and coach, I know all about busy times. It never seems like there's enough time to get everything done. With that said, I am fully aware that there are 86,400 seconds in a day. Once again, the video I posted is less than 20 seconds. You don't need to be a math expert to figure out that 5 similar sets would take less than 2 minutes. Does anyone honestly believe that they can't find a few 20-second blocks throughout the day? The time is there for us all. However, not everyone is willing to prioritize what they'll do with their time. It's easier to sit in bed and browse through your phone. And before you get upset, I'm not here to judge you if that's what you choose. I don't believe in telling anyone how to live their life. Just don't waste my time with excuses about why you don't have time. Never gymless. Over the past few months, I've been extremely busy traveling back and forth between Ireland, England, and America. There's been plenty of long days with limited sleep and nowhere to train but the side of a hotel bed. I always find time though. On some days, it might just be random sets of push-ups, squats, and rollouts with an ab wheel. I'm not paying attention to sets, repetitions, or any particular routine. It's just me cramming in whatever training I can whenever time permits. And while such an approach may not seem ideal, you'll be surprised at how much can be accomplished when you push yourself with short sets throughout the day. As I've said many times before, something always beats nothing. You don't need an hour of uninterrupted time to achieve a quality workout. Final thoughts. To conclude this brief rant, we all have time for whatever is important to us. It just so happens that many people in today's world haven't learned to prioritize exercise. I'm not here to knock those people, but rather to help open their eyes. The busiest person and the laziest person in the world have at least one thing in common. Both operate within the confines of a 24-hour day. Both have the same 86,400 seconds. It's how you use those individual seconds that will ultimately determine what you accomplish each day and in life. The time is there if you want it. You just need to prioritize how you use it. You just listened to the posts titled Varying Your Training Intensity and Stop Making Excuses About Time, both by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Dr. Neil here for my commentary. I want to discuss Ross's second post, Excuses About Time. Let's try an experiment. One of these days, track how much time you spend showering, picking out your clothes for the day, getting dressed, brushing your teeth, fixing your hair, putting on makeup, all the things we do to take care of ourselves. How much time do we spend doing those things? Don't get me wrong, those behaviors are important. Again, we're taking care of our bodies by showering, brushing our teeth, and so on. If we count the minutes or hours we spend taking care of ourselves in these ways, we may find that it's a lot more than we thought. Then we need to ask ourselves, how many minutes or hours do we spend being active? Because isn't staying active taking care of our bodies too? So it may not be that we don't have time for exercise. But instead, as today's author Ross said, we don't make the time for it. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sharing this show with someone. That's one of the best things you can do to help keep this podcast going. Simply showing it to someone else and getting them to follow or subscribe really goes a long way. So again, thank you so much for doing that. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.